Today I am learning something new, Neurographica art. And today we have a guest, Marie Kompanowski, who is amazing lady who is going to walk us through and walk me through my first attempt at something that is useful for all kinds of reasons. So stay tuned and hear more about Neurographica art and meet Maria.
Brilliant. So Neurographica is a science of putting, shall we say, our brain to work and use our ability of our brain to help us. So for example, if we have an issue, we are using our brain to find a solution. So drawing what our brain thinks is helping to overcome any issues that we have. So the Neurographica was discovered by a gentleman from Russia who is a psychologist. And when he was working with different type of clientele, he was thinking of the usage of brain, and our brain reacts to color. And because also with the left and the right side of the brain having two different functions, he's used that facility to create the Neurographica, because we've got neurons in our brain. And if we are doing something for, say, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, repeatedly the same thing, we are actually carving the grooves in our brain, which creates an automation. So let's say if we have a habit, those carved neurons in our brain are doing that automation because we're automatically doing something. Or if, for example, if you do exercise every day, the same time, the same thing, your brain has it carved in. So when, let's say, you travel somewhere and you cannot do that exercise at that particular time, your brain is letting you know that something is missing, right? So there is Neurographica, and there is several basics in there. One basic is the lines that are being drawn, okay? And there is 3 types of lines. There is what is called catharsis. And catharsis, what really it entails is that you free draw lines on a piece of paper. And the basic paper that you need for Neurographica is A4 paper, usually horizontally. There are some papers that are square. You can use that. You can, in some cases, you can use larger formats of paper, but it depends what you're drawing, okay? But in the basic format, you need just A4. And it can be printing paper, or it can be watercolor paper. I am using pads that are for watercolor. And what you need as tool is a black pen, which is like a Sharpie, yeah. There is a fine liner Sharpie as well, which you can use for thinner type of lines, yeah. And for the coloring, majority of people are using just coloring pencils, but you can use watercolor, you can use highlighters, you can use, exactly, you can use that as well. Okay, so that's the basics. Now, let me give you an example of catharsis. So for example, catharsis is number 1 basic. And when you start drawing, before you actually draw any line, the best thing to do is to think of the topic that you would like to resolve. So for example, let's say, like in my case, I want to become healthy. So my main topic at the moment is my health. So I am taking, to start, before I draw, I take a paper, I put my hands on that paper. So I am connecting to the paper that I'm going to draw on, and then close your eyes and for 2 minutes, just meditate on the topic that you are about to draw. Okay, so let's start. We've got 5 minutes past 10 in your case, so close your eyes and just meditate on the drawing you're going to do. And now if you take a separate piece of paper and for 2 minutes, write as many words or sentences concerning that topic as you can. Okay, stop. And now count the number of words you have written and write in digits how many you have written. I've got 36.
53.
Wow, that's brilliant, fantastic. Okay, so now you can put that paper away because you have declared into the universe the words that you are thinking within the drawing. Okay, so now you've got the paper, take your pen. Okay, and we're going to draw the catharsis. So the way to draw the catharsis is you open your pen and put your hand on the paper. Now close your eyes and just do free flow drawing on the piece of paper on that page. Just let your hand go where it wants to go. And you can stop when you feel that you're ready to stop.
Okay.
Okay? Look what happened in my paper and show me yours. Fantastic. Brilliant. So now, Daddy, what you need to do is the important thing in Neurographica is that the paper is used right to the edge. So you need to extend, like I've got some sharp edges. Can you see? Some
Yes.
sharp edges. So I just extend that sharp edge to the end of the page. And if you have rounded things like here on the top of my, somewhere here is around just below the edge of the paper, you can take one of the sides, one of the rounded sides and extend it to the edge of the paper.
And how many times should I do that, like on each side?
Try to do as many as you can. So wherever you see a line which is ending somewhere in the middle of the page, do extend it. And the same with the bends. Do extend them to the end of the page. And try to do your lines uneven. So they are a little bit wavy.
So I should try and have a line coming off on each side of the page?
That's right, yes. Something like this. Have a look. Can you see? Because the more lines you have, Deb,
I need more lines, right?
yes, particularly down below and on your left.
Over here.
That's it. Well, your left hand is, yeah.
Okay. So how is
Okay.
it now? Do I need more?
Fantastic. That looks fantastic. You can leave
Okay.
it as it is for now. Now, if you look closely at what you have drawn, you will see that there are some lines which are crossing and they create sharp corners. Can you see?
Yes.
So now, this is the biggest and most important task because each sharp corner represents a conflict within our brain, within our thinking. And because our brain is very particular, we need to remove those conflicts. So we need to round up each corner, each sharp corner. So for that purpose, what you need to do is basically look for any sharp corner. So intersection of lines, for example, okay? And you round them. And the rounding is just to make that sharpness smooth. So you're removing conflicts within your brain, basically. And this task is important. So for example, when you do the drawing in the evening, okay, you need to round up before you go to bed. That's one task that must be done during that sitting. You don't have to color it on the same day, but rounding is the most important thing.
So when you say rounding, so
Yes.
we're
So
talking
you have
about these
plenty of rounding to do. Yeah, exactly. Yes.
right there versus this one being a little sharp. That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I will explain to you just 1 second. So for example, this is the line, and the rounding is something like this. Can you see?
Okay.
Okay.
Using the same pen.
Yes. You can use thinner if you like. It's up to you. In this case, I use the same.
And do you fill that into that corner?
Yes.
So
basically, I show you, instead of being sharp, I am just making it round. So there is no sharp edges. If you can have a look here, for example, can you see that bold rounding that I done?
Okay, so is this too big?
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay, so that is the most important thing now that you do. You find those sharp corners and round them up. And the best way to do is usually start from the middle of the page, because that way the center gives you the work straight away. That's the center of your brain, so to speak.
So if those lines have created a little triangle, you just fill that triangle in.
That's right, yes. So the initial drawing sometimes may look quite black, but that is because the roundings can be sometimes quite large, quite a lot need to be done, yes?
Yeah.
But that makes the drawing even more interesting. And notice your emotions whilst you are doing it. What type of emotions, what type of thoughts are coming into your head when you're doing this rounding?
I actually find it peaceful.
So do I, but lately, I sweat. I feel very hot when I draw. Sometimes you might feel that your feet are getting cold. And when that happened, that means that you are not quite ready yet for that change that you want to achieve. So you may need to do more drawings in order to change that feeling. And when your feet are warm, that means you are ready to move forward. Sometimes you might have runny nose, it's really interesting, some reactions that people have. You can show this drawing to your grandson or your granddaughter, particularly if they are, very active.
Oh, great, because he is very active.
And this can calm him down.
He loves to draw, so we gave him, for Christmas, we gave him drawing books and pens and.
Oh, all right. The good thing about the Neurographica, David, is the fact that there is no expected effect of the drawing. Every drawing is a very individual thing, and every drawing is good. Sometimes when you draw, you might be surprised what shapes you will create by doing roundings. The other day I was drawing a mandala, and I decided to put some different types of lines in it. And when I sent it to my friend, the photo of it, she says, "Oh, I can see a lion there." I said, "Where?" I had no intention of drawing a lion. And when she showed me where it was, I was quite surprised.
I have a question. My pen is quite thick. And when I'm rounding they look a little blotchy. Do I need to straighten those all out?
What you can do is you can just continue across the line and they will even itself out, but they are fine to me.
Okay.
Really, they're looking really good. Now the topics that you can draw this on is anything and everything. That the one thing that you need to know is that you cannot do these drawings for anyone else. It's all for yourself. If I would show you my original first drawing, it was absolutely horrible. My hand was shaky. It's shaky now, but I can control it better. But the lines don't have to be smooth. The beauty of it is that our brain is having 100,000 miles of brain cells, all folded up in a very funny way. And that is what the neural lines are also representing, yeah? So you don't need to be worried that something is not straight. Obviously, with practice, you will be able to make sure that you will find the right tools for yourself. You will probably have many different, pencils and pens that you will feel that one is better than the other and so on. It's all practice, but it's amazing how many people is actually switching to this. The other thing that I would like to tell you about this is that these drawings that you do, so for example, the one that you're doing today, is always possible to go back to that drawing at any time later, and you can add things to it if you feel that you need to.
You start with drawing over top of it, or you
can draw over top of it.
Interesting.
And sometimes you think you finished rounding, and then when you're coloring it, you find things missed.
What does that mean?
Well, our eyes can sometimes get tired, and if we miss something, we can always have a second chance to do it whilst we're coloring it. Because when you do more intricate drawings and there is lots of roundings, then it is always possible that you miss something. And the good thing is that you can always go back to this drawing and add on to it, make it right or whatever. You can really put more power into it. And I'm going to tell you about some symbols which are very important in these drawings, and they have a significant power. The same with colors. Some colors are very powerful in these drawings, and they are important to be featured in the drawings. It's also doing those drawings is like meditating.
It's very relaxing.
When you focus on what you're doing, you are actually going deep into meditation. And this is also like, for example, I talked about myself that I am not really an artist and I cannot express myself in any form of art. And when I discovered this, I noticed that I can express myself, even though when I started doing spiritual development, I was suggested to draw mandalas, and I did draw mandalas, and I enjoyed it very much. But it didn't motivate me as much as this. This is really, I'm now in the stage, if I cannot draw something during any day, I am feeling at loss. I'm feeling that something is missing. The other day, I got up at 5 o'clock because all of a sudden I decided that I want to draw something. At 5 o'clock in the morning, I was sitting at my table drawing.
I'm finding that my rounding is not very good. I'm not getting the right.
You don't need to worry about that. That is first time you're doing it. So you just make the roundings and you will see they will blend with each other very well.
Okay, so I think I've got them all.
Beautiful, fantastic. So now Okay, you can strengthen that drawing by adding circles, for example. In Neurographica, there are three things which are very powerful. So the circle is number one, and the circle can represent yourself, other people, the issues that you have, the things that you want to have, and then there is a triangle. The triangle is a huge power. If you add triangle to a drawing, that means that you are ready for speed. The triangle add speed to the manifestation of your drawing, okay? And there is a square. A square is basically giving a shape to your drawing, and it activates the action of it. Then there is a symbol of sun. The sun gives light. The sun gives the power to manifestation of your desire that you are drawing about.
Do you have examples of your own where you have put the circles, triangles, squares, and sun in?
Yes. This is the one, for example. Can you see all those circles?
Yes, and when you add the circles, then you have to go in and round any corners you just created. What about the squares, sun?
The square, what you can do, in fact, can you see? There is a square in itself in my drawing, and I think I have seen it in yours as well. When you draw the circles, you are actually making sure that you are placing the circle in a specific place. Okay. So, for example, on my drawing, this here looks like an egg sideways, if you notice it.
Okay.
Yeah. So I can, out of this, I can create a circle, and I show you how. I'm going to draw a circle, okay? And you can do, when you draw the circle, you can go like, can you see? So I have utilized part of that egg and created a circle out of it.
Now, do you do the same thing for the triangle, or do you just draw a triangle in?
And if I want to do a triangle, I can quickly, I'm just looking if I can use any lines for it. Yeah, I can use one. So I can do the triangle. And I use I used one line existing, and I created a triangle out of it. Can you see now?
Yes.
Okay, so I've done that, and now I've got to do the left side in roundings because I haven't finished yet. And when I do the roundings, I can then add some more circles to it. Okay, so each circle, for example, in my case, I'm drawing the health of my legs. The triangle is the big circle are my legs. The triangle represents a speedy recovery. Okay, and I want to. I've got two scars that I want to get rid of. So I'm going to draw two circles, okay, which represent those scars so they can go away.
Okay.
And then I can start coloring. Now, if I can just finish with the colors, there is two colors which are very important. One is a blue. The blue color is representing water, but at the same time, detox and flow, okay? So for example, in a drawing like this, what we can do is we can use, for example, three basic colors, and we can cover, with those three colors, we can cover the whole page. We can individually paint the circle and the triangle, the circles in different colors, yeah? And the rest of the page, we can cover with minimum 3 colors. And it's good to make sure that when we color, so for example, let's say blue color, we can put from here going across to the other part of the page, or we can do a little bit, you know, like a cross, yeah? and then go with the other two colors the same way. And then that would be very quickly. But then what we can do is we can do shading. So we can do darker color of blue, for example, on top of the light blue, etc., etc. You can do that. It's entirely up to you how you feel, because it's your drawing, so you can use the colors the way you would like to. Okay. So if you are ready, so show me your circles and the triangle. Did you put it on?
I did.
Wow.
So there's
Wonderful.
I'm not very good at doing. So my triangle, I found I actually had two sides.
Yes, I can see it
there anyway.
Wonderful. Yeah.
So the big circle, another big one, and three small ones.
Brilliant. I love it. Okay. So what you can start doing now, Deb, is to color. Pick any color that you would like, that just look at your colors, pick any and start coloring.
And does it matter where you start, in a circle, a square, or you just?
It doesn't matter where you feel you want to start.
Now I have markers as well as
Yes,
pencils. Can I mix the medium?
absolutely you can. It will make the picture even more interesting. Now I got a set of 40 color pencils, and I'm going to use them for coloring. They're soft, so the soft pencils are easy to use. Now, blue, I told you about the significance of blue color. There is also pink color, which is very significant in Neurographica, and is one of the three most used colors in Neurographica. And the second one is the blue, like I told you. And then quite often is green. Green gives peace. Yellow also because of the sun, the light.
And what about purple?
Purple, it can be used because it's from the pink family. Orange as well is very significant. The darker colors are representing the darker forces, so to speak. Yeah, so the toxins. You can also use metallic colors if you like. They are also very interesting to work with. In the past, I used the wet pens, the watercolor pencils, and that was quite good. I enjoyed it, but still pencils are my preference because of the shading, and you can put 2-3 colors on top of each other. How do you feel? What emotions have you got?
Peace.
Good. Anything happens in your stomach?
Butterflies, like I'm
Good, very good. So that means that whatever topic you're drawing is going to manifest itself. You're going in the right direction.
Excellent. So for the blues, for example, should I make sure there's a connection of blues from one side of the page to the other?
Yes, you can. That will create the flow, and it clear the way for manifestation. Is what your intuition is telling you to do. It helps to actually listen to our own thoughts as well. You can also, if you feel like, you can also leave some white spaces page if you like, because that opens the way for new things to come. So you can always go back to there, and you can fill that in at later stage. Some of the drawings can take you 3 to 4 hours, depends what topic you're drawing, how complicated the drawing comes for you, because they are the other lines. This is the simplest algorithm, okay? The catharsis. There is neural lines, which is more complicated, which takes quite a bit of time. And there is also one that is with symbols, and that is not that complicated, but it's around, an hour and a half, 2 hours drawing. It depends what topic and how the drawing comes out. But it's really worthwhile. It's a great relaxation and helps you to manifest what you want to achieve. And that is the beauty. That is always another tool that helps you to manifest your desires. And I am really feeling the difference, So I'm really pleased that I'm doing those drawings. Do you have a marker, Deb? A thick marker? Because we're going to do another line on your drawings when you finish coloring. So I'm just finishing the basic colors that I wanted to do in my drawing. Okay, and this is what came out for me. Okay.
I am still here.
Wow, that's amazing what you're doing. Brilliant. Wonderful. So if you carry on, because I already see this is going to be so beautiful because the colors you are using. Okay, mine is finished. Look, I've just shaded gently just to bring the colors a little bit forward. Yeah.
I think I need to spend more time.
Wow, this is going to look gorgeous. Okay, so what I will show you now, Deb, because you can do that before you actually finish coloring, is take that marker, the thick marker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what we need to do is to make this drawing strong, even stronger. We're going to draw what is called field line. Okay, and this is a thick line that needs to go across the page. Okay, the biggest number of lines like this you can do in any drawing would be maximum 5. Now on this one, we will do 2. Okay, and we're going to start from the bottom left corner. Okay, and we're going to go across to the top right corner, but make sure that that line is not straight. I done it like this. Okay, can you see it?
Yeah, mine's a bit wavy.
Brilliant. Yeah, that's what it needs to be. It needs to be wavy. And once you have it, along this line, you have created sharp corners between this line and the other line. So now it will need to be round the top. But let's do the other field line, yeah? So let's start from the top left, going across to the bottom right, okay? So it comes to something like this. Now we can take a pen and just round everywhere where you see sharp corners along this line that we have just created. I'm just about finishing to round the top. Okay, I am done. That is the basic. And like I said, you can let this picture now, this drawing, to start working and get the manifestation going. And if you feel that this is yet not, say in a few days' time, you feel that there is something you want to add to it, you can always add a circle, a square, another field line if you like, but give time for it to manifest, yeah? Also, what is important, what I do is when I finish the drawing, at the back of it, I am writing the topic and I'm writing the date that I drew the drawing. So
does the drawing have to be finished? Like you can look at a drawing and you can give some meaning to it.
Yes.
Does the drawing have to be finished and the color all have to be in there before you can do that?
No, because these drawings are not about someone looking at it and telling what it is. Okay. I've done this to people because they asked me to, but it is what it really means to you, because this is drawing for you, not for me. Okay.
Yeah.
I can draw conclusions out of it because I've got a little bit more experience in drawing it. But to be honest with you, it is what it means to you. That is the most important thing. Okay. I can, for example, guide you as far as the lines, the roundings, maybe add circle here or there, but the actual meaning of it is your individual and your sacred thing.
So that's what I have so far.
Beautiful.
I wanted to, I just found myself wanting to put a bit of blue, yellow, green, and pink inside the triangles and the circles.
Brilliant.
Bring all of the meaning for those colors into each one of those things.
Yes.
And then I'll go in and add some of the colors and everything else later. I can't thank you enough for coming on and walking me through this. You are absolutely amazing. This would be a great tool for anybody that has a blockage. They don't know where to turn next. They just want a stress relief, but not sure how to get it. All of those things.
Even anxiety, even people who are recovering, for example, from stroke, from any person, even someone who feels that their head is blowing with thoughts and the head is full with something, and they don't know how to actually clear it. This is the thing that will help them to do.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay. So next week, I'm going to teach you the second algorithm.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me on this video. And for all the viewers out there that are watching, please give this a try, because it's another tool in our toolkit to help us live the healthiest life, be the healthiest version of ourselves that we can be, and to live that kick-ass life. Last words?
You're welcome.
Bye.
Peace.